Hello everyone, welcome to this learning video. I'm Dwi Kartika from the Information Systems Study Program, Universitas Teknokrat Indonesia, and today we will discuss a very important topic in the world of information technology and risk management, namely business continuity and disaster recovery audit. This topic is highly relevant for all organizations, whether in the private sector, education, government, or non-profit, because essentially, no organization is immune to disasters or operational disruptions. In this video, which will run for approximately 10 minutes, we will explore the basic concepts of the Business Continuity Plan, BCP, the Disaster Recovery Plan, DRP, and how audits play a critical role in ensuring these strategies are truly effective when needed. Let's begin by understanding what a business continuity plan is. BCP is a strategic plan that includes the policies, procedures, and information needed to ensure that an organization's critical functions can continue operating during and after a disaster. The purpose of this plan is to reduce the impact of disruptions, minimize losses, and maintain stakeholder trust. BCP doesn't only apply to IT systems, it also covers personnel, business processes, physical infrastructure, and relationships with third parties such as vendors and customers. For instance, if an earthquake damages the office building, the organization should have an alternative plan such as relocating to a temporary site or implementing work-from-home policies, while continuing to deliver essential services. Then, the Disaster Recovery Plan is a component of BCP that focuses on technical aspects, especially the recovery of IT systems and critical data. DRP outlines the technical steps required to restore IT infrastructure to operational condition after a disaster. This includes data backups, server restoration, failover systems, cloud recovery, and more. For example, if a ransomware attack encrypts an organization's entire file system, the DRP should explain how to activate backup data, the expected recovery time, and how to ensure the restored data is clean and usable. In summary, BCP focuses on the overall continuity of the organization, while DRP focuses on the technology and data. Now, this is where the role of audits becomes highly important. A business continuity audit is conducted to evaluate whether an organization has an adequate BCP and DRP in place, whether these plans are tested regularly, and whether all stakeholders understand their roles during a crisis. This audit is usually performed by internal auditors, external auditors, or independent consultants, and may follow standards such as ISO 22301 or frameworks like COBIT and NIST. Without proper auditing, an organization may think it is prepared, while in reality, there could be many vulnerabilities that cause failure when disaster strikes. For example, simply having a BCP document is not enough if there is no regular simulation or staff training. Here are the general steps involved in conducting a business continuity and disaster recovery audit. First is the audit planning phase. The auditor must understand the organization's business context, its structure, and the key processes that must continue during a crisis. The auditor should also identify major risks the organization faces, ranging from natural disasters, IT system failures, pandemics, to cyber attacks. Afterward, the auditor will define the scope of the audit, whether it covers the entire organization, specific units, or just the IT systems. The second step is document review and collection. The auditor will examine whether the organization has up-to-date and well-documented BCP and DRP policies. These documents must include defined roles and responsibilities, recovery strategies, emergency procedures, contact information, and a testing schedule. Outdated or misaligned documents are a risk indicator. The auditor will also look for evidence of simulations or test executions, such as test logs, simulation reports, and follow-up actions taken. The third step is observation and interviews. At this stage, the auditor interviews management, IT teams, security staff, and operational employees to assess their understanding of BCP and DRP procedures. The auditor evaluates whether each individual knows what to do in a crisis situation. In addition, the auditor will inspect physical infrastructure such as server rooms, backup locations, and emergency equipment. The auditor may also request a demonstration of failover systems or data recovery processes to evaluate technical readiness. The fourth step is control testing. Here, The auditor can conduct simulations or scenario-based audits, for instance, testing how the organization responds to power outages, network loss, or data theft scenarios. The auditor evaluates the speed and effectiveness of the organization's response in implementing BCP and DRP procedures. If backup systems are in place, the auditor verifies whether the data can truly be restored, the recovery time, and the accuracy and integrity of the restored data. After all steps are completed, the auditor compiles an audit report containing key findings, strengths, identified weaknesses, and improvement recommendations. These recommendations may include staff training, policy updates, better backup systems, forming a crisis team, or improving emergency communication. The report is then discussed with management as a basis for making decisions to enhance the organization's preparedness in the future. To make this more concrete, let's look at a case study. A major hospital in Jakarta experienced a fire in one of its server rooms. Fortunately, they had a DRP with cloud-based backups that had been tested periodically. As a result, within 6 hours, essential data was successfully restored, and critical services such as patient registration, emergency room operations, and pharmacy systems were back online. This quick recovery prevented significant disruption in patient care. However, after a thorough audit was conducted by an independent IT governance firm, it was discovered that emergency evacuation drills had not been performed since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Several staff members were confused about where the designated gathering points were, resulting in delays and potential safety risks. Additionally, some vital paper-based medical records were lost because they had not yet been digitized or included in the DRP scope. This incident highlights how even organizations with strong digital infrastructure can still be vulnerable due to gaps in human and procedural preparedness. The auditor's recommendations included updating and recommunicating evacuation procedures to all staff, conducting fire drills at least twice a year, completing the digitization of all paper-based records and including them in the backup plan, requiring all employees to participate in annual disaster recovery training. This case clearly demonstrates that business continuity and disaster recovery planning must go beyond just technology. It must involve a holistic approach, covering people, processes, policies, facilities, and third-party dependencies. Moreover, this hospital isn't an isolated example. Many organizations face similar challenges. Some businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, have been paralyzed for days following ransomware attacks, because their DRP didn't include scenarios involving encryption-based threats. Other companies lacked proper emergency communication protocols, which led to confusion among staff and customers, causing reputational damage and loss of trust. In the absence of timely and accurate crisis communication, misinformation can spread rapidly, worsening the situation. These real-world examples serve as powerful reminders of the importance of conducting regular and comprehensive audits. BCPs and DRPs should not be mere formalities or documents created to satisfy compliance requirements. Instead, they should be living documents, constantly updated, tested, and internalized by everyone in the organization. So, how can your organization prepare effectively for such audits and strengthen its resilience? Here are several practical and actionable tips. Regular updates. Review and revise your BCP and DRP documents at least once a year, or whenever there's a significant change in business operations, infrastructure, or risk landscape. Simulations and tabletop exercises. Conduct structured simulations regularly to test response times, coordination, and decision-making. Scenarios can include system failure, data breach, natural disasters, or pandemics. Cross-functional involvement. Engage all departments, not just IT. Operations, HR, legal, and communications teams must all be involved in planning and drills. Invest in modern tools. Use technologies such as automated backup systems, real-time monitoring dashboards, cyber threat detection tools, and cloud-based recovery platforms. Third-party risk management. Ensure your critical vendors and partners also have BCPs and DRPs, and audit them when necessary to maintain the integrity of the supply chain. Audit as a strategic tool. Treat audit findings not as criticisms but as opportunities for continuous improvement. Build a culture where employees are open to learning from simulations and feedback. Additionally, it's important to establish key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the effectiveness of your business continuity strategy. These may include Recovery Time Objective, RTO, Recovery Point Objective, RPO, test completion rates, staff awareness levels, and incident response times. In conclusion, we can affirm that a business continuity and disaster recovery audit is not just a technical requirement, it's a strategic necessity. It ensures that an organization is not only able to survive in times of crisis but also able to adapt, recover quickly, and continue serving its stakeholders. A well-prepared BCP and DRP protects critical assets and data, preserves operational stability, safeguards the reputation and trust of the organization, and ensures compliance with industry standards and regulations. However, without a thorough, objective, and recurring audit, all those plans may go untested, outdated, or forgotten. Therefore, let's ensure that every organization, whether it's a school, hospital, bank, or government agency, has a robust audit framework, clear and up-to-date documentation, and a culture of readiness embedded across all levels and departments. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I sincerely hope that this material has broadened your understanding and inspired you to strengthen your own organization's preparedness. Please feel free to share this content with your colleagues, classmates, or professional networks. Don't forget to follow our next sessions where we will dive deeper into cybersecurity audits, incident response planning, and IT governance frameworks.